The value of a thing is what the thing will bring. Legal maxim. So there's been a lot of trade rumors and online chatter recently about what a potential Bradley Beal trade would look like for the NBA. If this trade happens, it'll have immediate impacts and will change the landscape of this season, especially if he happens to land on a team that's one star away from becoming a true contender. I read a comment the other day that went, "You're one Beal away from winning a championship." So I thought I'd do this video here today on whether or not the Warriors should trade for the Wizard star. Smash that like button and subscribe if you're new, and welcome back to Hoop Reports. So let's take a look at Bradley Beal, the impact he's having this season, and really digest what it would mean for the Golden State Warriors if they were to trade for him. Bradley entered the league in 2012 when he was selected 3rd overall by the Wizards. He's 27 this year, so he's just entering the prime of his career, and he is on fire. This season, he's currently leading the league in points per game at 34.9, and the next closest scorer is Durant at 30.9, so there's a wide margin there. Any team that picks up Beal is definitely going to improve their offensive efficiency because this guy is going to give you buckets. Along with his points production, Beal is also collecting just about 5 rebounds and 5 assists per game, so he's impacting the game everywhere and not just in the points category. In terms of efficiency, he's shooting at about 48% from the field, 34% from beyond the arc, and 89% at the free throw line. He does play with a team that's sort of in a rebuilding phase though, so as a result, he is forced sometimes to take difficult shots. Earlier in his career, when he and John Wall were on a roll with a better overall team, he was a lot more efficient in shooting. I'm sure if he was on a team that could set him up a lot more, his three-point efficiency can increase back up to about 40% where it was before. In Bradley Beal's 8 seasons played, he's been to the playoffs a total of 4 times and probably could have gone more if his partner in crime, John Wall, didn't suffer those season-ending injuries. Now begs the question, should the Golden State Warriors make a trade for Beal? Despite the 2-time MVP Stephen Curry back in the lineup, the Warriors are sorely lacking offense this season. This is something I thought I would never hear myself saying, especially since a few years ago they were a scoring juggernaut. Oh, how times have changed. The Dubs are currently 13th in scoring overall in the league, but that's because they play at a fast pace, which could be a double-edged sword because you're also giving opponents a lot more possessions. In terms of offensive efficiency, which is how many points a team can score for every 100 possessions, the Warriors are ranked 23rd overall. And as a team, they rank 20th for field goal percentage, so it's crystal clear here that if you inject a high-scoring superstar like Bradley Beal into the lineup, it'll help out Steve Kerr and the coaching staff immensely in terms of how to score more. Now, let's use a hypothetical situation here, and just imagine the Warriors did acquire Bradley Beal for nothing. How would they perform this season? Well, they definitely would improve a lot on offense. I mean, Curry by himself is a high-powered scoring machine, and then if you mix in someone who is averaging just about 35 points per game, I'm sure scoring won't be an issue for the rest of the season. Would this be enough for them to win it all, though? Let's take a look at what Vegas has to say about this. Before the season started, and when Klay was still healthy, Vegas had the Warriors pegged at a 10% chance of winning everything, and they were 5th on the list of championship favorites. With Klay out and Bradley in, honestly that percentage would probably go up to about 15 or 20% at best, unless Wiseman has a breakout, but that's a different discussion for later in the video. The Warriors definitely have a chance of winning this season's championship with Beal, but the odds still aren't in their favor, and they'd have to put down a huge down payment plus mortgage their future. Let's take a look at a few trade scenarios floating around the web. Number 1, James Wiseman plus Kelly Oubre plus Minnesota's top 3 protected first-round pick. This is one of those trades where you can acquire a proven talent immediately, but you'd be sacrificing a lot of future potential. Next season, Klay is going to be back and Wiseman is going to be a lot better, so this really is a trade that has an upside for this season, but wouldn't be the best for the Warriors going forward. If this trade was made, Golden State would take the meaning of small ball to another level, because they'd be massively downsized in terms of stature. For this season, however, a combination of Steph, Wiggins, and Beal would form quite a formidable trio that won't have any trouble scoring at all. For the Wizards, who are rebuilding, almost any package with James Wiseman would be good, and if Lady Luck has her way and Minnesota's pick lands outside the top 3, well, it's a deep draft pool, so they'd get another great piece to rebuild with, so it'd be good for the Wizards. I mean, they are dead last in the Eastern Conference, and will most likely miss this year's postseason, so they aren't looking for a star player to help with production. They're looking for pieces to build with, and from the Warriors, no player fits that better than James Wiseman. Personally, if I were the GM of the Dubs, I wouldn't trade away Wiseman, who has the potential to be a key player in what may become another dynasty in 2 to 3 years. Number 2, Andrew Wiggins plus James Wiseman plus 2 first-round picks. This is another trade floating around the web and is probably worse than the previous scenario. I wouldn't trade James Wiseman, especially if you include Andrew Wiggins, who is having a redemption year. I mean, Wiggins is shooting over 40% beyond the arc and is playing defense at an all-NBA level this year. So this trade would be a no. Number 3, Klay Thompson plus 3 first-round picks. The next trade is a sentimental trade. Personally, I'm a loyalty guy, so I wouldn't even consider this trade, but it has been floating around the web, so I need to address the specifics of it. Beal is 4 years younger than Klay and doesn't have an ACL injury. Klay will be turning 32 next season and hasn't played an NBA game since Game 6 of the 2019 Finals, and now we're in 2021. He most likely won't be the same defensive person he was due to him being a bit older and coming off that knee injury, but his sharp shooting skills will still be there. Klay Thompson is a top 5 shooter of all time, but Beal isn't a bad shooter either, and can handle the ball in addition to creating shots for himself and others. I see on Reddit that the majority would actually have Beal rather than Klay, but as a Warriors fan, and if I was the GM, Klay is going to end his career where he started it. There isn't a possible scenario that I trade for Beal with currently. And although their chances of winning everything this year is little, it exponentially increases next year with Klay back and Wiseman developing. That's how the Warriors got this far anyhow, through the development of Steph, Green, and Klay. Let's see what some Warriors fans online are saying about this whole trade situation. As a Warriors fan, I don't think there's any way in hell this gets done without including Wiseman. That said, while having Beal would be awesome, Wiseman might be the best center in the league one day. If we also drafted Jalen Green at number 4, that's a nice young core to build around. No way the Warriors do that. Wiggins is the top 3 and D guy in the league right now. And you want to give him and Looney, who is a good defender, to replace them with someone who doesn't play any defense? We will lose so many games. No deal. Beal would be an instant boost, but with Klay next year, that would be diminishing returns since they play the same spot. Then you lose what is becoming a really good defender in Wiggins and a loaded draft next year. This is just thinking short-sighted. What do you guys think about this Bradley Beal trade thing going on? If you were the GM of the Golden State Warriors, would you trade for Beal? If so, who would you trade and why? Let me know down in the comments below. Don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace.